The ladies, and a lot of times what happens is when you come in, you know, the service advisors at the county here will tell you that your air filter is dirty, and you're kind of questioning where the air filter is. The air filter is actually underneath this box right here, and if you do care to choose to check it yourself, it has a few clips on it. There's one here and there's one here. Of course, everything's made out of plastic these days, so you can actually just tip it up like that, and there's your air filter right underneath there. That's what it looks like when it's new. So they may come out to you and show you an air filter that no longer looks quite like this. Usually, it'll look like our jackets. Usually between 15 and 30,000 miles. This is definitely an item that you really want to change. It's like you. This is the lung for the car. Without breathing, it's not going to run properly.
It's something that they standardly change on a 30,000 mile
yes,
checkup.
Yep.
You don't even have to ask. Do they just do it?
No, they're going to check. They're not going to ever do anything on. We're not going to ever do anything on your car without asking you first or recommending things. You guys, ladies, can check this yourselves. Like I said, it's underneath the cover here. Some of them are bolted in. Some of them just have clips. So they go in pretty easy. You just slide right in. Of course, I've done this for 26 years, so I can get to it pretty quick. And then it just latches right down, a couple of clips. You could. And if you're going to get filters yourself, that's great, because we're here to educate you, and a dime saved is definitely to your benefit. If you're going to do them yourselves, I do recommend using our product. Our Toyota products. The aftermarket stuff is more of a paper. Did you see how that looked? It was like cloth. It's maybe $2 more, but the difference in the filtration of the air is it's quite a bit. So this is your wash. Everything underneath the Toyotas. I can't speak for the Fords on the Toyota Tech. Is labeled. Here's your washer solvent here. You fill it right in there until it comes up to the top. There's usually a little indicator. It'll come up to the top for you. Very easily done. If you care to check your oil, it's usually the yellow one, and the handle is shaped in an O for oil. Pretty ingenious, huh? Pretty ingenious. Usually it's right in the front also, okay? A lot of the vehicles these days, the transmission fluid, a lot of the 2012s have what we call world standard fluid, and they claim that you're not supposed to have to change it anymore. Therefore, they've eliminated a lot of the dipsticks. But on this Corolla, we have them. And again, there's your transmission fluid. And the handle is a T. So, we have oil and we have transmission. Okay? We never check the engine oil with the engine running. If you're driving down the road and the little red light comes on the oil can, we know to pull over immediately. Okay? Let it shut it off, let it set for a minute, and then pull the dipstick out. Let what little bit of oil is possibly in there get to the oil pan and see what the fluid level is. If it needs some, we just cap right on the top. Everything's plastic, it should come right off. Okay, we just put as much oil as we need until it reads properly on the dipstick. Okay, the transmission fluid, I recommend you don't really mess with it. It has two different levels on it. One is hot, one is cold, and it needs to be running at the time. So if your transmission isn't feeling properly, I strongly suggest you bring it to the dealer or your closest garage. At least say, hey, my transmission's acting a little funny. Can you check the fluid, make sure it's okay? I'm going on a trip, going back into town. These are our fluid levels underneath the cars. We have what we call a cabin air filter. Has anybody ever been in the shop and they say, hey, your cabin air filter is dirty? Well, that's actually located behind the glove box. You can change that yourself, but usually what happens is we've noticed when some of the customers try to take the glove box door out, there's a little pit that kind of has to come out. there's a little piston in there that does break occasionally. But it is stuffed up behind the glove box. It does take a little bit to get to, but it is accessible. I'm not going to take it out right now because everybody will have to have their head in the car for me to see it. But if you choose to know how to change it, I'm more than happy to help you. I think the best thing to do is on your oil change in your next service, ask for one of us techs. We'll come out, we'll show you where it is and how to go about checking. So, here are our fluids. We have our washer solvent, okay? We have our engine oils, we have our transmission. We need coolant, engine coolant to keep this engine cool. Here's our reservoir off to the side. We use a pretty pink coolant. It's either pink or red, and it's a great indicator in case you have a leak. It actually leaves a stain where it drips. So,
Is that what the oil does too? Because I don't oil it. They haven't found it yet?
and they put a dye in it? Is that what they did
Well, I
for
don't
you?
know put a dye in, but it's the leaking, they can't find it. Like, they can't find the leak. I would have to, it's
Oh, so is it leaking or is it consuming it?
only,
Okay. Is it then this dealer here? And they haven't been able to find it? I don't know what to say then. I think probably what they have done by now is probably put a dye in the engine oil, and they'll use a fluorescent light, and it will show
Is
up.
it showing the bottom, like the bottom part that is?
It does. It will show. It will show up wherever it is leaking from. It'll show a trailer. So yeah, they've added a dye, I'm sure, to the engine. So a lot of people like to change. These engines have changed a lot over the years. It looks like a piece of plastic. That's all pretty much, isn't it? There's actually your engine, okay? And what happens is, see how that nice cover's over there? That's got nice little insulation. We have field mice that love this stuff. They crawl up into here and start chewing on this stuff and leaving beds underneath there, chewing the wires. Again, your do-it-yourselfers, that plastic cover comes right off. These little rubber pieces. It's got 4 pins. The best way to do this, you got 2 holes for what? Your oil, and 1 for your oil cap. You just center those right over there. Push it right back down on, and it's on.
Do you have to have
They all have that, yes.
Do they have to have it?
It helps with the rain, you know, and the outside elements. So, no, it's okay. It's okay. Yep, all the newer models. And if you ever have a problem with the field mice getting underneath your hood, or what happens is they love to get inside your car also, and that pollen filter I was telling you about will stop the mice from going down into the squirrel cage, as we call it, which is the blower motor that blows heat. Okay? They'll chew through that and get down into there, and then they've made a mess, it smells, and usually there's feces, and when it spins, it'll kill the mice and make a pretty big mess in there. A way you can avoid that is they do not like dryer sheets. You know your little bounce dryer sheets? You stick a couple of them, 1, 2, 3 under the hood, you know, just in. You could even stick them to, you know, anywhere. Any way where you can wedge them in there. They don't like the smell of it. It deters them. Yes.
And also Irish Spring soap.
Irish Spring soap?
I had trouble with the fan.
Yeah.
And I brought the car in, I couldn't put my window down. And they
Yeah.
put the door card, and inside the door was all acorns.
Yeah.
So they had done a job on my car. I know keep it out, but this man was also in service. He said he keeps his car in and he had some problems.
Yeah.
So they told me the dryer sheets, which I tried to pull out. But then somebody else told me about Irish Spring soaps. I bought a couple of cakes and I got one of the grabbed for $1.05. So I keep one on the back, you know, on the door thing, and then I keep one on the glove compartment.
Yeah. The smell deters
And
them.
every once in
It's
a
the
while, I'll take the
perfumes.
hood up and check for little, you know, like
Yeah.
on the shelves, I don't have any.
Yeah, it's the perfumes that keep them away. So those are a couple
And you don't
do-it-yourself
really
things.
smell.
And it gets expensive, doesn't it? It gets very expensive, and they are little critters, I'll tell you. Where there's the smallest area they can crawl into. So that is our under hood presentation. Is there any questions on this?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I mean, technically, if something's going wrong with the car, feeling, you drive the car every day.
Yeah.
But if you open the hood like this, you're going to see anything. Realistically,
No. No, you're not. You know, you could if you're the consumer that wants to change their air filter or whatever, and if you don't have the air filter buckled down, the engine will have a little bit of a different sound, a louder roar sound. What it's doing is just sucking excessive air. So therefore, if you do open the hood, you would be able to see it. That it's not lashed down. But realistically, no. This is to educate you where certain things are, if you want to change your air filter, if you want to check your oil periodically, if somebody tells you that your transmission fluid is really nasty and whatnot. Transmission fluid, by the way, is red. It's red as your shirt. And if you pull it out and it's as dark as the floor drain, pretty good chances it needs to be flushed out. Okay? So it's just to let you know where things are. If they tell you that you have a problem with a particular thing, you can come and look and you can verify yourself. You know, it's all about verification and knowledge of your vehicle. Okay?
Before we move on to the next step, really, this is about educating. We don't expect you to do all this yourself. But what is important is we're just creating a transparency for you, so that when you're at the service desk and you have a service advisor that says, your air filter needs, your pollen filter needs to be changed. Now you know what a pollen filter is. Now you know what it looks like when it's clean, and if they can come to you and show you what it looks like, or that it's full of acorns, or it's full of insulation. Right. It's really, again, it's about transparency to all of you, so you're informed when you're having dialogue. I learned something new tonight. Thank you, Wayne.
The T and the O?
That's it. It is. So we're going to now go to...
I have a Camry up here on the lift. It is safe to walk underneath it, ladies. I've been walking under it for 25 years. I've yet to rub one on myself. Never anybody else either. Careful on the drain now. Sure.
Good, Micheline. How are you? Okay. How about you?
Rinse it off with some water. Yep.